A very good morning and welcome to Alton Towers Scarefest 2019. Very much looking forward to this year's event and seeing the two new attractions for this year. We have got the attic Terror of the Towers that's actually located over in the towers themselves, if you hadn't guessed that already. We've also got Darkest Depths, which is a new family maze which is actually located in Mutiny Bay. That's in the same location as where the Welcoming was last year. Along with that, we've got Project 42 returning over in the former Nemesis Subterra building over in Forbidden Valley. And then also in the towers as well, you've got Subspecies, the End Games. That's back for what, a 5th year now? And then Altonville Mine Tours that's returning there as well. So looking forward to trying out all the different mazes here at this year's event. We've got some friends down here as well. Good morning, how are you? Scarefest, here we are.
Yeah.
We're going to be starting off in a moment with these guys, the Alton Ancestors. They've been here for a few years now and they do a really nice dance all around Towers Street and a bit of a flash mob. It's supposed to be a bit of a surprise, but it does happen like every hour in the morning and it's always good fun to capture. Who am I with today? Unfortunately, Charlotte isn't here because she had work today because, of course, we were away for the first weekend of Scarefest because we were over in Florida and there's still loads of vlogs to come from that trip, so stay tuned for those. So we're going to be a mix between Halloween vlogs, stuff from our Florida trip, and yeah, make sure you stay tuned for all the different vlogs coming up on the channel. But yes, Alex is here today along with a few other friends of ours as well for a spooktacular day. Looking forward to trying out all the mazes, sharing some reviews for you guys, and also putting in lots of off-ride footage of the rides at night, capturing the park atmosphere, the theming, and so much more. Welcome to Alton Towers Scarefest 2019. Let's start off with a bit of the Alton Ancestors. Absolutely loving the Alton Ancestors this year. A new speaker setup over there, much louder. Seems like there's more of them this year as well. And brilliant costumes, but nowhere near as good as the costume that the Milkman is wearing for this year. Now, this needs a big, grand reveal. We've had all that build up with the Alton Ancestors, so we're building up now to Alex's costume. And here it is!
The annual tradition is broken.
Where's it gone?
I'm so sorry. So I was about an hour ago, I was Billie Eilish, right? You know, I'm a bad guy, you know. That
like in the show?
In the show, I like when you get mad. And I decided the wig was too itchy. I always do this every year.
It was too itchy?
Too much. It was too itchy. I had a blue wig on my head and had my eyes made up by somebody else who's here as well.
Who is actually dressed up?
Who's actually made the effort. So I feel like the bubble, but they're filling my gap for this year, so they're doing me the favour. I'm having a year off, alright.
Are you going to do a big reveal?
Big reveal of her favourite coaster, the Smiler. It's Jamie!
Hey, the random girl again. There we go. She keeps appearing more often.
She's wearing that coaster,
She just keeps appearing, she does, doesn't she?
But
the only one actually dressed up out of the three of us. There's the Ancestors, off they go. Fantastic, we love that. Great job by all. Great job, fantastic. Really good. Best one yet. Best one yet.
So every year, don't you?
Wow, you know.
Tops itself
But
every
it does
year,
get better. I really like that. Phantom of the Opera did it for
I've
me.
got to say though, are you feeling Halloweeny yet?
I'm not
The
feeling
sun
that
is in the
spooky.
sky, which is rare
And it's
for
not
that
actually
time of
that
year.
cold. Actually, I've got a bit of a sweat
It's
on.
misty, so
You know.
we've got some mazes to look forward to.
And there's someone behind you, Alex. Yeah, we got all like new mazes to see. I'm excited. So
the first time I think I've been at Scarefest with you when the weather's actually kind of indecent, to be honest.
It's all right. Hopefully it's going to stay like
I
this.
mean, I love these pumpkins.
Yeah,
These are
so
beautiful.
these are brand new for this year, all based around the big rides. I love the Wicker Man one. I think that's probably my favourite. I think the Smiler looks good, to be fair. But so does I mean, they're all good. They're all good.
They're all good in their own right.
But I think the standout ones to me, when I look at them there, first thing I'm drawn to is Wicker Man and also the Smiler. But they all look good.
They're all good, and Rita, you know. Fantastic. No,
Well, we'll forget about that one. But here we go. Right, let's go and get started. We've got the mazes coming up shortly. Some reviews to come from those. Here we go then, so it's 1:30 and it's time to experience our first scare maze, one of the new attractions for 2019. It's the Attic Terror of the Towers, and I'm really looking forward to this. It's advertised as 5 pumpkin rating, so how Alton Towers do the different scare attractions, they'll give you a little rating on pumpkins basically, and the more pumpkins they are, the scarier it is. So this is 5 pumpkins, and yeah, I don't really know 100% what to expect. So in terms of the mazes here, it's very different to Thorpe Park. You do actually have to pay extra for the mazes on top of a theme park ticket. I won't go all the prices and everything because there's so many different ones, but you do get annual pass discounts, and if you go onto the official Alton Towers website, you'll be able to see all the different prices there. But I definitely recommend booking a time slot early because they do get busy, especially on an evening. I like to do the maze in the afternoon because it means you've got a lot more time for night rides then. But I'll tell you what, I'm loving the soundtrack around here. It's got a nice atmosphere, you know, in terms of building it up before we go into the attraction, and this is the Attic.
This is the Attic Terror of the Towers.
What's this t-shirt? Oh my god, it feels like a long time ago that.
That's cold. Yeah. Too cold for that t-shirt.
Well, this is it, like, we both haven't looked too much into it.
No.
Alex hasn't done it either, you know,
Don't know
'cause Alex
anything.
was out in Florida as well, so we've not done it yet.
Theme Park Worldwide,
This is
yeah.
it, Theme Park Worldwide on YouTube. Oh my, look at this, oh my god.
All the time, man, your Florida vlogs are
Yeah,
now we're
oh,
going.
thank you, that's
Theme Park-
amazing.
We love you, we got pictures with you.
Just
like,
so you know,
oh,
yeah, you might want to go to medical, you know.
It happened in the Terror of the Towers. Terror in the
God.
Attic, Terror in the Attic.
The Attic Terror of the Towers, I think.
Yes.
That's the one.
That's the one.
So we'll see you later. Have a good one. Thanks for watching. Love it. We've got great makeup there.
I mean, yeah, so
this
this is kind of like a throwback because obviously Terror of the Towers was here for however many years.
It started in 2002. It had Bloodfest Banquet. We've had a few different versions, so I'm excited for this.
Thanks Wikipedia for that.
Oh, no,
appreciate
yeah, I
it.
try.
It's going to be good though. I'm intrigued to see a new concept with a homage to the old. I think sometimes that celebration for the enthusiast amongst us, the older enthusiasts, is kind of nice to enjoy it.
Okay, this is it. We're entering the queue line, which is actually starting here in the conservatories of the towers, and then it'll lead us inside. So I think the queue line continues through here. It's very quiet, so yeah, let's hope we have a good run through, and we'll see you when we come out, and we'll share a bit of a review on what we think to it. The Attic, first ever run through. Here we go.
Inside you may be hunting defined spaces, strobe lighting and battles. This maze is important for those who are pregnant, claustrophobic, those who have epilepsy, heart conditions, those who have a nervous disposition, and anyone under the age of 50. The residents inside may touch you, but you are not permitted to touch them. Those who do will be removed from the attraction at this point. Please know these free limited strength inside the house. The use of any torches, video recording equipment, and photography is strictly forbidden.
So we've just come out of the Attic, Terror of the Towers. There's a lot to take in from that, isn't there?
There is
Like,
too much
I think
to
I'd
take in.
struggle to like review that on my own. Like, there's a lot. So I'm kind of hoping we can bounce off each other a bit with this one. So
Try.
you saw in the last clip there before this one, the indoor queue line. So that really set the tone for it. I mean, originally I thought when we saw them windows boarded in from the outside, that was going to be part of the attraction, but it was an indoor queue line.
Yep.
But then that led us into like the opening scenes, which was like an old house. I was getting the vibe of, not like Alton Towers, so to speak.
No.
It was just like the setting of an old house, wasn't
Yes,
it?
it was. Yeah, you were kind of walking through like into a library room where there was a gentleman there who was waiting to greet you. I'm guessing he was like the lord of the house or something. I was
Yeah.
trying to pick up because it was a little bit loud in there, so it was hard to pick up on what he was saying, but he was talking about, you know, that there's been strange sightings in the attic, and anyone who dares to enter has not actually yet returned, and that we are the people trusted enough to go into there. There's some lightning, the shutters on the window flying, all sorts of kind of peculiar
some
things
effects,
are
like
happening.
the fireplace over there with smoke effect in. He really set the story, wasn't he? That was like
He
the
did,
only
yeah.
actor sort of spiel in the whole thing.
You knew what you were going into
Yeah.
from that point. Like it was made very clear, so you could then enter the attraction and have to try and figure things out. You got the story straight away, which is useful because not always do you get that. And then you get led up the stairs,
straight upstairs
into the attic. You kind of go under a small apex, like a little.
A lot of it's
triangle shape.
apex up there,
Yeah, it
actually.
is.
Like, you know, a lot of it. And what made it for me was the floor.
Oh, it's amazing.
Like,
all wooden floor.
wooden floor they put in.
creaking and kind of moving a little bit. You know, there was a bit of a breeze blowing in too, and it was kind of a little bit of a chill. The smell pods in there, and just lots of drapes and lots of dust and cobwebs.
The set design was absolutely fantastic. The fair play to the guys that put that together. The set in there was amazing. And then first few rooms, all the wooden floorboards, they were creaking. Like, we was walking over them. You couldn't tell you were on like the concrete floors of the towers. Brilliant. There was stuff like a doll's house, like loads of little details, windows at the side. You know, it's crazy. Oh, how you doing? You all right? Oh, I'm getting a hug. How you doing?
I'm like your biggest fan.
Oh, I'm glad you enjoy watching.
Vlogging now?
Yeah, we're just of course. I'm glad you like watching.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go. There's your moment.
Love it.
I'm Jess.
I love it.
Hiya,
It
nice
was
to
great.
meet you.
But yeah, in terms of the attraction,
You following it through
great.
to another apex, you're into part 2 of the attic. The creaking floorboards continue, and then everything kind of starts getting smaller, a bit more claustrophobic. You can see some like really creepy, like I don't really know what they were, like dolls. And
Yeah, it was
things
dolls.
hanging
Like,
up.
loads of dolls in there. If you don't like dolls, there was a doll mask as well.
Yeah,
what
the
came
one, like a
towards
big
you in
baby
there.
mask. It was really creepy. And then
yeah.
you're walking around the bedposts and the bed frames. There's a little creepy doll's house that's lighting up. And then you are.
We're led to a bed, aren't you?
You're
then?
led to a bed, yeah.
Like a projection scene,
And
which
it's incredible.
we didn't
With
catch
the,
properly.
With a spirit, there was like a spirit floating over the bed and possessing the person who was laying in bed. But before then, they asked you to leave the bedroom. So then you went to a fireplace in the bedroom, and through the fireplace, you crawl and into a.
It was like a furnace, it reminded me of.
It reminded
like,
me of a furnace, and there was like creatures and demons, people being burnt alive in there.
Yeah.
It was very hot in there too, very, very warm.
Just to sort of summarise it, I mean, we could go on for probably half an hour talking about it. Set design was absolutely amazing. Not loads of actors, I didn't think, in there.
Yeah, I
but
see
there was
what
a
you
fair
mean.
amount. And there wasn't really jump scares. It wasn't like, you know, hiding and then coming out and scaring
It wasn't a 6
you.
pumpkin for me. It was more like a 3 pumpkin.
That was a 5 pumpkin advertised.
Was it a 5?
that
Sorry.
was, yeah.
I think it was more like a 3 for me. There were some couple of grabs. I know you guys kind of got some ankle grabs and some hair pulls and things. I mean, not that I've got any hair anyway. So that's probably why I lost out. But it wasn't too full on. It wasn't too in your face. You weren't split up. You were kept as a group. And the group size was about maybe 10 or 12 people.
Yeah, liked a finale.
Yeah,
We were just led down the stairs at the end. It wasn't like a big finale scene, which you could have had. But overall, exceeded my expectations hearing some of the reviews from last weekend. But it's not quite exactly what I was hoping for from what I originally thought it was going to be when it was announced. But great attraction, 7 out of 10 from me. Would like another run through at some point today if we get a chance later.
Definitely.
To see it in a bit more detail. But I enjoyed it, good addition. Do prefer the other versions of Terror of the Towers that we've had though.
Yeah.
Take Terror of the Towers off it. You know, you're best at just calling it the attic really.
Yes, you are. Keep
Judge
the
it as the
attic name.
attic.
Yeah, it's nice.
But anyway, up next, Darky Steps.
Straight
He
up.
might be
Number
joining
2.
us here. Like, look at this, it's crazy. Look at this. Are you from one of the mazes, are you?
We just come out Dark Step.
Oh, have you? Oh, you're not from the maze? Yeah, your costume's really good.
We're scare actors.
Oh, right, okay, well, awesome. Well, we're going to Darky Steps. We'll see when we come out.
We just
What's he going to do to me? Straight out there, that is the most beautiful scare maze Alton Towers have ever done.
Set pieces were incredible.
Absolutely gorgeous to look at, wasn't it? I mean, where do you start with that? We were in a tavern, weren't we, at the
We
beginning?
were in a tavern. You walk into the tavern, you get told about you need to get to the
mutiny.
The mutiny, which is a cursed pirate ship.
Yeah.
And you are encouraged to go through the cellar to get to the ship. But when you arrive at the ship, things look great. And then suddenly people start getting seasick, the captain loses control of the ship, and the whole ship
Things take a
capsizes.
dark turn.
Yeah, they do.
Bear in mind that attraction, if you saw my update a few weeks ago where we showed the construction of Scarefest, that is shipping containers and the little bit of like canopy what they've got. You cannot tell at all that you're in shipping containers.
No, you
That
can't.
is absolutely gorgeous. You do feel like you are on board the mutiny and loads of theming, like
Constant.
the floor was all themed.
There is water
Wow.
effects, there's sand, The screens, projection effects, lighting, smoke, strobes, it is just full on. The actors are incredible as well. They were amazing.
Like, all the water leaking in. Like I thought, we came around one corner and there's like water leaking into the boat. I thought, that's a nice effect. And then we go around the corner and there's like 2 or 3 other places where there's water leaking in.
Incredible.
That made it for me. Like Alex said, just the sand on the floor, that added to it in certain sections. And then we went to see the Kraken, didn't we? That was like the big finale, the big Kraken monster that was like breaking through into the ship. That was incredible. That is branded as the family maze that was originally designed for 8+. They're now advertising it as 10+. And don't get me wrong, you know, if you've got brave kids, they're probably going to be all right.
There's some spooky moments. I'd say it's a little bit more intense than what House of Monsters once delivered at the park.
Definitely.
Not necessarily so much jump scares, but more some eerie, creepy scenes and some loud noises, some weird effects that can be quite intimidating. But I feel like if you are 10 or over, that's kind of the perfect age.
What an attraction! Like
the actors too, I've got to mention.
Yes.
They had their own lines and their own characters. You know, it wasn't just a case of there's zombie 1, zombie 2. You actually kind of saw who they were in their role, and they all had their own little dialects and lines, and even the siren that you met at the end, who reminded me of Ariel from The Little Mermaid. Scary. It's a little bit scarier than her.
Sat there on the side.
And projections all the way around in that room too. I was very, very impressed.
You've got to imagine, it's so hard for us to like summarise like a 10-minute attraction into a quick review, but
and also describe it when you've not seen it. You can show off rides of a coaster at a park like this, but inside the maze, you really just have to kind of go for what you remember seeing.
Visually, there's a lot for us to take in when we go through an attraction, but go and check it out. It's the cheaper attraction to do as well. If cost's an issue for you when you come into this, it's the cheaper one to do. Go and do it. It looks beautiful. Really impressed with the 2 new additions. I give that a 7 out of 10 as well. To pick between the 2 is hard because one is technically a family attraction and one's a thrill. But I'd say if you can do, please try and do both. The gorgeous theming has gone up this year.
I feel that the 2 new attractions this year, we're yet to do the 3 maze combination, the subspecies skin snatchers and Project 42. But I feel like already, if I'm coming to this event, my priority is going to be those 2 new attractions 100%. Straight away. As much as I know what to expect with the others, and they've all had modifications, tweaks, updates for this year as they do each year, I still feel like the brand strength and the product for Scarefest this year is the attic and.
Well, we're yet to do the 3 attractions. We don't know until we've been in them.
They could resurface, but
let's see what happens. We're sat outside Project 42, so we're heading into there next, and then we'll make our way down to the towers to do the other attractions down there. Let's go in Project 42.
Photography is strictly permitted. Finally, we must stay together as a team.
Right, so we've done 2 of the thrill attractions just in a row. We started off with Project 42 before coming down and doing Subspecies the End Games. But firstly, before we talk about what happened in Subspecies, we'll just have a little summary about Project 42. Not much change from last year in there, was there really? I don't think it's too intense, but it's certainly there's more intense scares in there compared to the other 2 that we've done today. The Attic and Darkest Depths, they're a bit more tame. Obviously Darkest Depths expected with it being the family attraction, but like the Attic, I preferred a lot as an attraction compared to Project 42, but you know, in terms of the jump scare, there was more in there, wasn't there?
I agree. Project 42 had one slight scene alteration from what I noticed, where when you entered what was formerly the Subterra ride area, there's actually a big wall up around most part of the ride, especially where the egg used to be, and they put like where the ride system used to be. Actually, they put like a big lab bed with a big
blocked
body
it in,
on.
like you could tell you were walking over the ride system before.
Yeah, but, but now
time.
you felt like you were just in a normal room. So that was about the only scene change. Acting quality, I still think was pretty good. It was quite reduced on actors, I thought. I think the actors in there still doing the same kind of scares. And the ending is probably one of my favourites.
It's a strobe maze, and it's really good in there because you've got the guys who are quite high up, sort of looking down on you in there, and it's just it's good. But for me personally, it's one of our weakest Alton Towers ever scare attractions. That Project 42.
And made weaker by other strong attractions, especially at this year's event.
Yeah, definitely.
It's really hard to compete.
You look at the Attic and Darkest Depths; they're up here, and then you got Project 42 that looks quite poor in comparison. But the actors were trying the best in there. But me personally, I'm not a big fan of the whole theme of it and stuff. But you know, in terms of scare, there were some intense ones in there with the strobe maze. Then let's go on to some species. Returning for its 5th year now.
Wow.
And it actually gets marketed as the scariest attraction here. Like we went in this, you're going all around the sewers, aren't you, basically? You're playing this game to try and escape from the sewers. That's the story behind it. Partially located in the towers and partially located in the shipping containers just behind us. Now, we've just had a very, very long run through in there, which was incredible. Mainly because we knew a couple of the people in there. Of course, you know, we're a familiar face at Alton Towers. So, you know, much love to you guys. You made it great.
Thank you so much.
You know, in terms of acts in the first section, it was lacking a few actors in that first part of the attraction, which was a shame. But for us, we kept getting sent round in there, which was brilliant.
So we really felt isolated. And the thing is with that maze, it is free flow. There are different routes to take. Groups do get separated and stuff. And actually, the experience we had basically was we were kind of isolated from everybody else.
For a long
solo
time.
routes for a very long time. I made it out 5 minutes later than the rest of the group that we went in with. Sean was about 10 minutes after everybody else.
It was crazy.
But the kind of idea of being isolated, being separated, split up, sent around the same areas more than once, I actually think that should be a more permanent thing with this maze.
I agree.
Certainly if
yeah.
it's going to return for next year's Scarefest and beyond, I feel that actually isolating people and people meeting new people in there and having to work out a way out with new people, it really adds to the experience. I really hope that all guests can get that kind of experience.
Yeah.
But actually for me, made it actually, I'd say, quite scary.
Like, we know that maze like the back of our hands, but this time we were all like, what the hell is going on?
There's so much going on around you, bumping into new people. We got separated from each other, all of our group got separated, and it ends up being that we're in that maze for a long period of time. And actually, sometimes those mixed experiences do make an attraction. I think something like that would really suit this maze.
I still think subspecies time at Scarefest should come to an end at the end of this year. I said that last year, but it's certainly an improvement on last year. But I just hope that more people get the experience that we had there.
Definitely.
You know, if you're going through that attraction, you shouldn't have to know someone in there to have a good time.
No.
Everybody who's paying for a ticket for that attraction should have a good experience. It lacks on actors, but from the rope section onwards, you follow a rope basically in the dark. All the containers here, that was really good, and of course the chainsaw finale.
The actor quality has never changed. Maybe the less actors, you know, is a thing, but actually the acting standards have always been the same, which is good.
The best year for that was its first year.
I agree.
Hands down, when it first came in, it was incredible.
This is the closest it's been to that, though.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Since year one, this has been the closest. It had that kind of isolation, intensive feeling that Subspecies once had. So it's nice to see that back again.
And in terms of an intense maze, it's the most intense out of them all, isn't it?
Except for Skin Snatchers, which we haven't yet done.
That's coming up next. So we're going to go and do our final scare attraction number 5, isn't it? But we've done well. We soon got round, got them done. Not really any wait. 10 minutes-ish for that, but it's got high throughput, hasn't it, with Subspecies. So we'll go and do this, and I believe it's got some new theming in the queue line. So let's go and have a look at Alton Mine Tours, the legend of the Skin Snatchers. Alton Mine Tours, legend of the Skin Snatchers. Great start out the front with all the new theming in the queue line. Really like that, all the little shop fronts. And I think that really adds to the experience. And of course you get batched. We were in a group of 14. It
was a big group.
A lot of people.
Very big group.
But it kept the throughput going, and I wouldn't say it took away from the experience actually. The good thing is as well with that, 3 people have the like the torch, the helmet on the head. Normally the person at the front, back, and someone in the middle. I was the person in the middle, so I did get the torch. But and that does add to the experience because throughout the attraction, at points it starts to flicker, and then by the end of it, it's like strobing going crazy. But no real changes inside the attraction I didn't find this year, but very consistent.
Yeah, acting quality again, superb. I think that's just been the general theme across Scarefest this year. Acting levels consistent. The attraction throughputs are really good. You had to wait in line for a little bit, but actually it's been moving pretty quickly, getting those groups through. And it hasn't really ruined the experience in any way by getting those batches through as quick as possible. I'm really positive about the event this year, actually. I think in a really good mood.
In terms of the mazes.
Getting through all the mazes, definitely. I mean, don't get me wrong, walking just down this pathway here outside Spinball Wizard, I really wish that we still had the scare zones like Freak Show, Nox Infernus, Dark Apocalypse, things that we've had over the years, Zombie Scare Zone even for way back when. It really would be nice.
Tales.
Yeah, it'd be really nice to see those kind of attractions back. Free, just to kind of give guests a sample of what to get inside the attractions. I do feel like they're a lot quieter. However, who knows what the future may bring?
And I think in terms of with the scare zones, it does give people a good, like you say, a sample. It gives people a good idea as what they can expect inside the scare.
I agree. Yeah.
Like, and it might actually increase sales for
Am I
them.
right in thinking that Terror of the Towers used to be a free maze a few
It
years
did? Oh,
back?
yeah, for a long time,
Just to
yeah.
give people an idea of what you can get from the other attractions in the park, because it does encourage people to pay for tickets to the maze. I genuinely do believe that, because a lot of people are like, oh, at least we know now what to expect. Let's go and do the other ones. Come on, you'll be all right. Giving people up for the scares. And actually, with those kind of quality attractions, I feel like more people need to see them.
Yeah, definitely. But we've been in all the 5 attractions. We've shared our thoughts, and it's a good Scarefest this year.
All attractions are complete.
It's a good Scarefest with the attractions. Like Alex said, a bit more atmosphere needed, roaming actors and stuff. But you never know, we might see some roamers later. I don't know.
Who knows?
We'll see what happens. But I'll tell you what, we're going to introduce you to someone over here. We've got one more attraction to go and see.
Attraction?
Well, I say not really for Scarefest, but
Right.
just an attraction of the vlogs for this year that you've
kind
not
of
actually been
attraction?
introduced to.
Why? What's happening?
It's this big square here. It's the hashtag TPW Square. Down here on the. Yeah. But when you see it for the first time, you got to sit on it. Yeah, you just got to sit
What,
down.
this
You
randomly
just got
marked
to
out
sit down in the
square?
middle of it. Yeah.
It's a very random store.
There you go. TPW. And you just got to put your hands up and shout TPW Square.
TPW Square!
Yeah, get it hashtagged. Scarefest has arrived on the Alton Towers Sky Ride. Got some skeletons taking a little ride there in the sky above Alton Towers. Little things like that really make it. I like that a lot. Simple but effective. Right then, so we've made our way up to the Alton Towers Dungeon, the new addition here for this year. Just thought we'd come and have a walk round because they've actually put some more lighting in, as we can see here as well, just for Scarefest, and we got some roaming characters as well, it seems, all around here.
Plague doctors out.
Ooh.
Body bags on
Oh,
here.
I like the look of this. Oh, this is cool. Yeah, it really builds the atmosphere around here. I think the sign looks really good lit up actually as well. First time we've really seen that, isn't it? A bit at night. Oh, hello.
So what magic talk about what is this?
Oh, that one's four.
Fancy this one.
Four.
It's a flashy box, but without the
Friends
flash.
with a bee.
Are you alright? I am, yeah.
It's a
good,
bee.
thanks, yeah.
It's a fuzzy
Very
bee.
good. It's a flashy box.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I think that's what you call them, a flashy box. But it's not got a flash on, so it's not really a flashy
Why,
box.
you're a white bee.
Maybe. Maybe, yeah, maybe.
Oh, she reeks of sin.
Sinner.
Bet you've not gone to church your entire life.
I still don't know who she is.
No, it's just following us around.
Plague doctor down there.
Oh, yeah.
Little pop set out.
I thought that was a statue then, like, or an animatronic or something.
Very
Oh, I recognise this from Scary Tales. Bit of theming.
Not feeling very well.
You don't look like you're feeling very well, to be honest.
Very well.
I know, yeah, you got all cuts on you.
Very well.
Very well what? Why are you pointing at the well and saying you're not very well? Well? I am winding you up. No, it looks good.
Oh,
looks
well.
good. Oh, you got one more in, I love it. Oh, look at this, spooky.
Weird, isn't it?
Oh, wow. Got some bodies down here, got some body bags. Hello.
Very slim, this one.
Oh, wow. It's a bit freaky, isn't it?
Dinner's bigger than
Love it. It's a little bit like a mini scare zone, isn't it, really? This is good. This is what we need more of.
There's smoke coming out of here.
Yeah, like, I bet this looks even better in the
Another one on
dark.
the other side, but we can't actually get through to it right now.
Bit of fog coming out.
Popular queue for the dungeon today.
Yeah, Dungeon's really popular. No changes inside for Scarefest as far as we know, but they've done the exterior stuff here. Love it. Torches look good there in the sign. Looks like it'll be lit up quite nice around here later as well, but yeah, it looks quite good.
When it gets dark around this area, it's going to fill with atmosphere.
Yeah.
But it's nice to see the dungeon with a big line.
That's the biggest queue I've seen for it all season,
But then
that.
I do consider, obviously paying an upcharge for the mazes for the park, people will probably consider the dungeon in that category of
Yeah.
attraction. So, it kind of makes sense that it is open. you
No.
know, with a big line.
Good to see some actors and a bit of atmosphere as well. Who is this, honestly? Who is it? Crazy. You stop following us around. Loving the fact that they've got some actors out the front of the dungeon there. Kind of feels a bit like a scare zone, a mini scare zone in action, which is good. That's what this event definitely lacks, a proper full-on scare zone, like Freak Show that we had a few years ago. But yeah, I like that out there. A few different set pieces they've put out, a few carts and that sort of thing. Quite a few different actors out there as well. Of course, Scarefest really starts to come alive as the sun goes down and it goes to night time. And of course, all the lighting throughout the park, some themed and and some our favourite speedy generators that you get out there. Sounds like some of it sounds not great. Well, that made my sound effect look really poor, that didn't it? That was brilliant, that was awesome. Yeah, that is basically what it sounds like in some of the areas, but there is some theme lighting in some areas of the park as well. So over the next few minutes, we're going to take a bit of a stroll round. Going to start off down at Wicker Man, new coaster for last year. It was lit up beautifully, wasn't it?
Wicker Man!
You're not Lee Wood. But yeah, like it was looked great last year, wasn't it? Like, it was brilliant. So I'm hoping we got the same this year. So we'll start off down there. I'm going to watch one of the shows on the stage as well and show you some highlights from that. And then just generally take a walk around the park. Go and have a look up in Forbidden Valley, Katanga Canyon, down in X Sector. Just have a few shots of the park and just sort of see what we've got in terms of theming about as well. In terms of lighting, like I say, it varies depending on the areas, but Fountain Square's not quite got the atmosphere this year. No. Last year this was pumping with the stage here, but they have put some bunting up. It's good to see the outside of Hex with some theme lighting on there as well. But yeah, let's head down towards Wicker Man. So we might have had a bit of a joke just about the lighting, but actually they've done some improvements for this year. Down by the towers there under the archway, a few moving lights up there. And then down here you've got on the little bridge area down towards Mutiny Bay, a couple of lights on there. And you can see the ones on the right hand side as well. They're permanent fixtures, but they've put some orange filters on those just to make it a bit more spooky. But it's the little things like that that really add to it. And from looking down here at Battle Galleons, as much as that isn't open at night, seems like they fill all the lights yellow all the way around there. So yeah, it's little things like that that makes it look a bit better. No tag back. Here we are then over at Wicker Man to have a look at some of the lighting around here for Scarefest 2019. Looking really good yet again, much like last year. Got some lighting down at the end of the structure here shining up. Looks awesome, all the red lighting over there. Of course, over in the queue line itself, you got all the festoon lighting that actually runs across the top. That does stay in position all year, but obviously it's not on in the daytime. You have to wait until Scarefest so you can see it all on. And as you've seen from the clip previously, fire effects are in action. We're probably going to see them again now. There we go. Wow. It was a fantastic investment for this park last year, it really was. Really comes alive at night. Wicker Man looks really impressive in the daytime, but at night really comes alive even more. So let's take a walk around this way so we can see what the big Bob structure looks like from the other side. You're right up there, Bob. Hey. Looks incredible, doesn't it? All the flames working out the front here as well. Themed lighting, as much as it's a generator over there, it is themed lighting shining over onto it. And the thing is with these generators, they're not actually as loud as they used to be. That impression that Alex did just, that's how they all used to sound. They're not as bad now. Bit of a shame about the white lighting down here though, over on the station. Takes away from it a bit. I mean, look at how bright it's making that with all the mist now. Would have been better if they could have had some themed or filtered lighting all around there. I'll tell you what, you come around this side of the structure, it looks brilliant, similar to last year. I'm not too sure if there's as much lighting actually shining on the structure itself though as last year. We have got the moving headlights just over there behind the structure and shining through. Another train going up the lift hill, so I'll put some shots in from off-ride of Wicker Man from around here. Man is proving to be very popular tonight with a 90-minute wait. However, I was just chatting to some fans of Theme Park Worldwide who just come off and they said they waited about 2 hours to ride, so a long time, but it is more than worth it for a night ride on there, especially if you've never done it before like those guys. But yes, anyway, Alex and Jamie, they've gone for a ride on there on Wicker Man, and I thought whilst they're doing that, I'm going to come for a little walk around the park and come and see some of the lighting and other changes for this year. Now the towers always impress at Scarefest. They look absolutely incredible with all the lighting up there, all the blue and green, and also it launched last year, but it's come back for this year. They've actually got like a little projector set up in the window up there, and they've got all skeletons that do a little dance, and there they are, look. Looks great, doesn't it? I mean, the camera doesn't do it full justice, but it's a really nice effect, that is. See, they're all playing different instruments in there, a bit of a skeleton band going on. I love it. Very atmospheric round here with the towers lit up, the show going on in there in the window on the projector, and also all the atmospheric music as well. You've got like a speaker hidden in the bush just down there. So yeah, it adds to the overall feel of the event. More stuff like this is definitely needed. And down by the Sky Ride at Tower Street, I believe we've got some more use of projections down there, so we'll go and check those out shortly. Just had a little walk through Dark Forest. There is literally nothing to show you in terms of theme lighting down there. They're all like white floodlights, unfortunately. I mean, with 13 and stuff, they used to do some really good stuff with that, but hopefully, you know, as they're starting to go around the event and update lighting a bit more, we might see some changes there in the future. But here's some more footage of the projections just here in the window. Looks really nice, this. Nice, cool effects. Into X sector then now to have a look at the lighting down here. Again, they've actually filtered the generator lights down at the entrance sign to X sector. As you've seen there, we've got a bit of theme lighting shining on the drop there of Oblivion. Yeah, this looks good down here actually, a bit of subtle orange lighting shining on there. Looks decent, that does. I still think a few years ago it looked even better when they had like some moving heads down at the bottom here, and they were shining up, and they were programmed that every time the ride actually came to the top, they do like a special sequence and were flashing, so that was quite cool. And that year they had all skeletons all around the top here as well. But nonetheless, you know, this looks a lot better than nothing. They've done more this year with lighting than last year. That's good to see, like on some of the paths around, and there's not as many generators. And like I say, the ones that they are using aren't quite as loud, they're not as intrusive as the ones that they had before. But let's have a little look over here at the Smiler. Again, yeah, there's a bit of permanent lighting around the queue line and stuff with this. I mean, it doesn't need too much in terms of generators. But yeah, it would be nice if they lit the structure up a little bit more. However, it means that whilst you're on there at night, you are getting a pretty much dark ride in some sections of it. I mean, you look at some of the inversions up there, it's a lot darker than it would be if they had bright yellow light shining up at it. But yeah, you have got the floodlight over here that kind of adds a nice sort of glow to the track actually, in my opinion. There's the Smiler in action. Love it. Similar to Dark Forest then really, over by Spinball Wizard, as you saw there from that off-ride shot. No themed lighting around there, but there's no generators either. You've got like the permanent floodlights that are in position. But anyway, I've made my way back to Tower Street now to come and have a look around here. Looks very spooky, and we'll have more of a walk round and see all the pumpkins and theming on Tower Street. Now it's dark, it's all lit up and it looks great. Shortly after, watching one of the shows down here on the stage in the Freaky Fun Zone. Now last year, this was actually located up in Fountain Square, which is by Woodcutter's Bar and Grill, the restaurant up there, and also Hex as well. And they had a bigger stage with a screen at the back, they had pyrotechnics and lots of different shows on offer, similar to what they've got this year show-wise. However, there was an additional show up there that I thought was really good. The singing might not have been amazing, but it was more of a show that catered towards adult audiences as well. The shows they put on here are more for the kids, and with that it was a singing show, it had pyrotechnics, and it was just all round good fun really. Unfortunately that's not back this year, and they've not got the big stage either for this year's event. Instead it's gone back to more of a reduced offering with the stage, but there's still lots of entertainment on there for the families. Kind of feel like, much like with the being no scare zones, it's a bit of a drawback in terms of how it was previously, having a bit more going on for some of the more adult audience here at the park. However, it's still good to see they've got the stage and they've got some shows going on. So we'll head over there, look at a few of the different shows and what times you can see them, and also we'll put some highlights in from the show in the next few minutes. So here's a look at the different shows on offer here in the Freaky Fun Zone. As you can see there, shows start all the way back at 11 o'clock in the morning and run at various different points throughout the day, all the way through until the final show that we're about to watch now, which is Patch's Trick or Treat Party at 7:30. So there's something going on for the majority of the day that's really good for families. Like I say, it's a shame that they took away the show that was more suitable to some of the older audience here at the park as well. But nonetheless, there's still lots of entertainment going on here, and also over in CBeebies Land as well. You've got some special entertainment in there for the kids. But here we go, coming up over the next few minutes, here's some highlights from Patch's Trick or Treat Party, one of a few different shows that are on offer here at Scarefest 2019.
Oh my God, we're back again. Oh yes we are. Brothers, sisters, everybody say, alright.
Even better!
But it is very spooky. There might be ghosties and ghoulies and monsters. Sorry, everyone. I didn't mean us. I meant the really scary monsters. Oh!
Oh, Skelvin, you're such a scaredy skeleton. It's probably just our pizza.
Pizza.
Come feel its power. Your name's a villain, it'll reach out and grab you. Feel the magic like abracadabra. Magic emotion, you know it can really hide.
We don't even know who you are. This is our party and we didn't invite you.
This is Gretel. She's new here and doesn't know anyone around here yet. So I asked her to come join us.
It's fine. I know when I'm not wanted.
Don't go yet, Gretel. They just have to get used to having you around. Besides, with all these spooky noises around, we're gonna need some witch's magic around here.
Here we go. You misbehave. Opposites attract, they say. So let's do things a different way.
Well, I don't feel very different at all.
Skelvin, there's a big scary mummy over there.
Oh, where? Help me, somebody, please.
Don't worry, I'll save you. They call me Skelvin the Brave, the most courageous skeleton in all the land.
No they don't. You're always scared.
That's true, Skelvin. You're wonderful in many ways, but being brave usually isn't one of them.
Somebody, anybody, please. That man has got a pumpkin for a head.
What's he talking about, pumpkin? I'm clearly a banana.
Couple of minutes of highlights there from the main show that they've put on for Alton Towers Scarefest 2019. I didn't think that was great. I thought that was a bit of a step back, not just on last year, but the previous family shows they've done before. I mean, I know I'm not the target audience for that. It's designed for kids and to go up, have a bit of a dance and just enjoy themselves and meet the characters. However, I do think it was a bit of a step back personally, especially on last year, but even on the previous shows, to be honest, in terms of like the voices have all changed for the characters. Don't think they're anywhere near as good. Some of the song choice, the overall storyline of the show. Patch, who's a pumpkin, turned into a banana in the storyline, but he still stayed looking like a pumpkin throughout the show. It was a bit weird. I don't think it was that good at all, that one really. I think a lot of the families and stuff around stood there with a couple of other friends watching it, and everyone was a bit confused as to what was going on. Like, looking at all the people in the crowd, didn't seem like anyone was enjoying it that much. But don't get me wrong, there was something that I did enjoy, and that was the choreography. Like, they all were really good, all the dancers there. That was fantastic. It was just the storyline and everything else really. I was struggling to work out what characters were speaking to who, and yeah, it was a bit strange. But anyway, we've seen it. It's not something that I watch a lot. Probably the only time I'll see it this year. Last year's show that was more aimed at a more adult audience, along with the family show they had as well, that was also better and was much more suitable for everyone in my opinion. But big step back in terms of entertainment this year, other than the Alton Ancestors. They were really good, but the rest of the entertainment hasn't been that good at all in my opinion on that stage from what we've seen. We've walked past throughout the day and seen a couple of the other bits, and you know, it looks okay, but subpar compared to what they've done previously. Anyway, let's have a little bit of a walk around Tower Street and see some of the theming for Scarefest. And you may notice as well, we've got some new audio for this year that sounds good, a bit more adult friendly actually. I must say I'm loving all of this darker music, what they're playing here on Tower Street at the end of the day. Really good, nice and atmospheric, and like I say, it kind of caters for more of the adult audience here at Scarefest, instead of playing the family music at the end of the day as well. Still had the soundtrack they've had for a couple of years playing earlier on, but yeah, they're playing this now on Tower Street and it sounds really good. Unfortunately, the lighting's not great up here at all. I mean, you've got the ones on the buildings, but go back a few years, all of this was really well lit. Like one year, they even had like the Scarefest logo as like a projection on some of the lights going round. But yeah, a bit of a step back with the lighting round here. Maybe they've tried to spread that a little bit more around the park in some of the other areas. But don't get me wrong, it looks okay on the pathways, but in terms of on some of the props and theming, like you've got the hearse there, spooky one, that used to look great all lit up. There was some more reds and stuff before, and yeah, a bit more varied, whereas it's more just green and blue lighting on the paths and nothing on the theming really, which is a shame. Yeah, I've got the big Scarefest sign at the bottom though that still looks good. But yeah, with this year's event, it seems like there's been some improvements and there's been some step backs as well. But in general, I do feel like it's a better event than last year in terms of the maze quality. But in terms of some of the other stuff, you know, it has been a bit of a drawback. But yeah, liking a bit of atmosphere in some of the areas. And I must say, Tower Street's always normally had a bit of a spooky atmosphere. But to be honest, like with the lighting like really lacking, I mean, it doesn't look great at all. It's just lacking a bit, isn't it? I mean, the audio's gone really quiet now as well. But yeah, looking back there towards the entrance turnstiles, it's just very dark, and you've got that bright white floodlight up the top there. Yeah, you know, it's a shame they couldn't filter that or light up the frogs like they did a few years ago. They had a smoke machine here, and yeah, it just looks a bit dull really compared to what they've done before. But anyway, onwards and upwards to something what they have done that looks great for this year. Walked past it earlier on, down by the Skyride station. They've got some projections there, so we're going to have a look at that. At least they've done something new down there for this year. Oh, I'm loving this effect here down by the Skyride station, just on the edge of Mutiny Bay. I think it looks fantastic. So how this works is very simple. There's just a projector, which is down in a glass dome here, just in front of where I'm standing. Then they've put these sheets hanging up from two trees and made them look like ghosts. Obviously project onto those. Really simple effect to do, but very effective. Looks great. The crowd are all really liking it down here as well. Runs quite a few different shows. I've just had a hot dog actually. I've just been standing here for a few minutes watching it. But there you go, yeah, you can see like the dome just down here. Oh, there we go, that's a reset. And it goes on to the next one. Really cool. There we are, there's somewhere that's talking, so oh, here we go.
In the air and how the full moon shines. It's such a
chill runs straight down through your spine. Our favorite night of all the year, we can't believe it's here. Oh, Halloween's the perfect scene to spread some fun and fear.
Let's get to the good part. It's time for the boo competition. Boo!
That boo wouldn't spook a squirrel. Forget about the boo anyways. It's all about a maniacal moan. Oh.
Ooh. Huh. I've heard a better moan from a funny bone. Your turn, Booley.
Ooh.
Not too shabby. Now, let's put it all together for the grand finale and see who gets to scare those kids.
I love
Cheeks
it.
down, I won.
That's a really good effect.
Great idea.
American voices though, but I like them off. It's good. Good thing with that is it's costing nothing to run, like, well, only a little bit of electric, hardly anything. Not got to pay anybody to run it. And yeah, it's just creating a bit of atmosphere just outside of Mutiny Bay just down here. Right, let's continue up through this area, up through Gloomy Woods, Catanga Canyon, and then straight down to Forbidden Valley. We'll get a few more shots down there. Let's see how Nemesis is looking this year. Got some new music and spooky sound effects playing down here in Catanga Canyon. They sound quite good. It's like a spooky safari mix that plays every so often. I like that. And then down here you've got the Jeep that's got a red light in as well, just next to the Rapids entrance. Unfortunately, Congo River Rapids doesn't operate anymore at night. Used to be a really good attraction actually during the dark Scarefest, but of course, safety first, and they did decide to close it on a night, which is a shame, but you've got to think safety does take priority, of course. Up here in Catanga Canyon though, it's looking quite quiet, considering there's still about 40 minutes to go until ride close. Got some more atmospheric lighting shining over on the entrance to Runaway Mine Train. And here we go. Here's your wonderful generators. Alex did a good impression of these earlier. Like I said, they're not as loud there as they used to be. Like now they're not too bad, but still, it'd be nice to see them install some more permanent lighting around the park. It really would. That's kind of looking Gloomy Wood. Bit of a lack of themed lighting in Gloomy Wood, unfortunately, but you have got one of the generators down the back there, and because of all the smoke that's coming out from the tombstone, it's adding quite a nice effect actually, just in front here. But I must say, it's absolutely empty. Bear in mind, it's a Saturday night, second week of the event. I know it's getting on quite late, but normally at this time of night, still some big queues, still a lot of people around, and obviously Wicker Man and the Smiler and some of the other big rides have still got some waits, but it's nowhere near as busy it seems this year, and it was the same with Friday nights when we was there the other day at Thorpe Park. Make sure you check out the vlog from there. But yeah, we've got a bit more atmospheric lighting here in the trees. More stuff like that, certainly needed. Let's head down to Forbidden Valley and we'll have a look at Galactica, Nemesis, see what lighting we got down there and audio, see if there's any changes. And we'll wrap up the vlog from today. Nemesis, my favourite roller coaster here at Alton Towers, is at a 5-minute wait during Scarefest for a nighttime ride. I think it'd be rude not to have a go on there. So I'm going to have a ride on Nemesis just for the evening, and I'll put in some off-ride shots so you can see it lit up at night. It's a mix between red lighting and lots of white bright lighting around here as well, but nonetheless, at least they got some theme lighting around it, and the turnaround section and loop here looks great. Yeah, look at the stall turn. I'll put in a couple of shots for you. Let's go have a ride on Nemesis. awesome night ride there on Nemesis. Still my favourite ride here at Alton Towers. I absolutely love it. Down here at Galactica then now, of course you've got all the blue atmospheric lighting around here. That actually stays up all year. Much like some of the lighting on Nemesis, not all of it, but a couple of bits. They are permanent, and that is because of the roller coaster restaurant located down here in Forbidden Valley, and that's open on an evening. Here comes Galactica through the portal. But yeah, it does look nice around here, and they've actually changed the audio here as well. Loads of audio changes to this year's event, that's brilliant. But here we go, a little look at Galactica to end the day here at Alton Towers Scarefest. There we go, it's come to the end of our day here at Alton Towers Scarefest, and what a day it's been. Like I say, I spent the most part of it with Alex and a few friends as well, so it's been great to spend it with them, and of course do all the different Halloween attractions on offer here at Alton Towers. The 5 attractions for this year, straight in there with my favourite. I've had a bit of a thought about it, and I am going to say that the Attic, Terror of the Towers, is my favourite. I would take it a little bit just over Darkest Depths. However, they're both absolutely incredible. One which is intended to be a family maze, but still offers some really good thrills in there. And the Attic might not be the most intense scare maze Alton Towers have ever done, and it's certainly still not this year. I mean, you've got Project 42 that is more intense, as much as I'm not a massive fan of that attraction. And then Subspecies, you know, that's much more intense. But in terms of the overall thrill factor, with the enjoyment of the props, and you know, it's not necessarily about big jump scares that do it for me. It's the atmosphere created and some of the more subtle scares. The Attic does it for me. Overall, the event this year, I do think it's a slight improvement on 2018's events. But don't be wrong, I still think there's a way to go until they're back to the same quality of what they were doing a few years ago. You know, I look back to like 2015, and I do feel like the overall event was better quality back then. However, it's certainly a step in the right direction this year. Here comes Galactica again, running its last few guests. You know, it's certainly a step in the right direction. I just want some more park atmosphere and lighting. Oh, I love it. Just a bit more lighting, more atmosphere. Something that has been good this year though is the fact that there's not as many generators, so they have put some more lighting in, but it's still not enough in my opinion. They should be doing some more with that. I'm working on it. Audio as well. I'm liking the audio changes around the park, and hopefully that's something that's going to continue in the future and change it even more up throughout Alton Towers and the theme park itself. Other highlights for me include the Alton Ancestors. I thought they were fantastic. Love the song choices for this year. And the pumpkins, what they had down on Tower Street, like the new ride ones, they were really good. Maybe not in the best position in my opinion, but I did enjoy seeing those. Just in general, like the projections in the towers, the ones by the Sky Ride, they're really good. Yeah, it's just been a good day. Operations, I'd say, have been good as well. Throughputs on the mazes seem to have improved this year, getting people through quicker. I get a lot of comments on these vlogs saying, if you could pick one scare attraction to do this year, what would you do? Me personally, I'd say a single ticket for the Attic or Darkest Depths. Oh, there we go, suddenly gone very spooky. Can you imagine being at like a Disney park or something, like walking down Main Street and like all the audio going off? Like, it just wouldn't happen, would it? But here we go, you can hear me a bit better now, even if it's not quite as atmospheric. But yeah, in terms of if you had to pick one, I'd definitely say the Attic or Darkest Depths. Theming stepped up with those. Loved Altonville Mine Tours as well. But like I say, Project 42 and Subspecies, you know, were the 2 weaker ones this year in my opinion. There we go, thank you very much for joining me. In fact, it's just started to rain, so perfect timing. I'm in the car now and I'm off out to Europa Park, so them vlogs will be coming at some point in the next few weeks. In terms of vlogs on the channel, I know it's a bit sort of everywhere at the moment in terms of the ordering, because you've got all the stuff from me and Charlotte's Florida trip, like Thorpe Park Friday Nights went on the other day, Scarefest on now, there's loads more Halloween stuff to come, so there's loads more vlogs that have been filmed and waiting to be edited and going to be uploaded, and of course stay tuned for those over the next few weeks here on Theme Park Worldwide. Thanks for joining me for a very, very quiet evening here at Alton Towers Scarefest. Literally 9:05. That's it, like there's nobody about. Do you remember a few years ago, you know, some of the riders still have queues at this time of night. Crazy. What's changed? Who knows? Comment down below. Thanks for watching Theme Park Worldwide, and that means it's time to cue those credits. See you all soon.